Hello you guys, welcome back. Today I am making a video about surrendering and just trusting the universe, because I feel like I'm at a point where if I don't do that, I will literally go insane, and have definitely been already going insane. And I feel like I'm finally at a point where I'm just so much more open to surrendering and trusting, because it just feels so much better than trying to hold on to things and force things. And I'm somebody who really likes to see things through, so I'm grateful that I've done that. But I think you reach a certain point where things are just outside of your control, and you kind of just know that it's time to let go, and that can be really, really hard. I feel like as human beings, it's like, obviously you hear everyone say like practice the law of detachment, and we don't want to get too attached to things, right? Because like everything is temporary. We're aware of this. Everything in this experience is temporary. We're temporary. We're gonna die one day. Just everything is always in a constant state of change. But and on top of that too, we are whole beings on our own too, and we don't actually need anything outside of ourselves. We are completely whole on our own. But even with knowing those two facts, I feel like just being human beings, we're obviously going to get attached to things, and we're obviously going to feel things very deeply. And I think that's actually a really, really beautiful thing. I think it's really beautiful and really special to care deeply about things and to fully feel our emotions, and to allow ourselves to be like swept up in our emotions a little bit. And I don't know, I guess it's like, it's really a matter of like finding a healthy balance, because we don't want to be codependent, right? And we don't want to rely on things. But I just feel like when things end, no matter what, it's going to be really hard. Whether you were more detached or more attached, you're still gonna have to go through the grieving process, and it's just gonna suck regardless. And like, obviously we want to maintain this like attitude and this knowing, really more than anything, that like, yeah, things are temporary. And I think that allows us to really, really feel how special things are and how sacred things are, and really just make a more conscious effort to be present and to like thoroughly enjoy things in the moment and soak them up in the moment, and recognize like things are not always going to feel this way. Situations are not always going to be this exact same way. Things change, people change, circumstances change. So to just really, really honor where you are, and just, like I said, thoroughly soak it up and enjoy it, I feel like it makes things be way more precious, and just, yeah, allows things to be more sacred. But it still can be really, really tough. It's such like a nuanced thing, because when you're feeling really like sad, right, it's like inevitable that things are going to feel better one day, and that's awesome. And then when you're feeling really, really up there and you're feeling really great and awesome, it's like inevitably things are going to come back down again. And so sometimes it can probably feel like a blessing, and sometimes it can probably feel like a curse that things are in a constant state of change. And I think that we just have to really try to like maintain like a stable, solid foundation behind it all, to be able to kind of like ride the waves of change. But it can be like a lot easier said than done. I know that for myself, like 2 years ago, I went through this really traumatic event with somebody that I really trusted. Trust was completely broken, and that was like a ripple effect that just changed like so much of my life at that point. And it was just like so much to process, to the point where like my front door handle broke at that time too, so I had to use my back door to go in the house. And I remember that even just like triggering me so much, because I was already processing so much change that I was like, I can't even handle one more little thing. Like I just like, I'm so used to using my front doorstep that just even having to use the back one, I was just like, oh my god, like this is all just so intense at once. And I was able to make it through that time, which was just like so difficult for me. And I just remember coming out feeling so much stronger, so much more in tune with myself, in tune with my intuition. And I just remember having like these realizations, like I just learned so much from that experience of like being able to ride the waves of change. And I just remember feeling like I can go through anything and I can handle anything. And then like now here I am in another, you know, season of change. And it's like that has all gone out the window, because it's hard when you're in the moment, and it's really, really hard when you have emotions involved with things. And like I said, I think that's so normal. I think that's so human. Like, of course, we're going to feel things deeply. On top of that, I feel like I and a lot of us are just extra sensitive. And I don't know if that's like a natural born thing, or if it's just that we allow ourselves to feel more of our emotions than other people let themselves. But I know that like even when I like moved to LA and I had to get rid of my old car, I like drove it around my neighborhood one last time, and I just remember like sitting in my car and thinking of all the memories, because I'm like definitely a car person. I love to hang out in my car. I've had like many nights where just like I have friends in my car and we'll just listen to music, talk, smoke, like, you know, just like chill in the car. I really, really, really love being in a car. So of course I had like so many memories from that past vehicle and I really had to honor that for myself. I had to like take some moments in the car to literally cry and just say like, I'm so grateful for you, car. Like, you've helped me get to so many places. I've experienced so much with you, like good and then also like traumatic, and just like so many just like memories held there. So like I'm definitely somebody that like needs to honor those emotions, even when it comes to something like a lot like smaller or maybe more insignificant to people. But like I know that I'm not alone in that like a lot of us feel things really, really deeply. So when it comes to like letting go of a relationship with another person, or a job, or a house, or whatever it may be, things that are like very, very like arguably significant in our lives that we have like a lot of emotions tied up in, I know that it can feel agonizing and that it can feel impossible to like want to actually let go and to like be okay without those things and to just like embrace that change and not feel resistant to that change. It's like really, really, really hard. So while I agree with like the, you know, we need to practice the law of detachment and all of that, I'm also so understanding that sometimes it's a lot easier said than done. And you know, it's hard. I know it's hard. And I've been feeling a lot of resistance to certain changes over the last couple of months. And I finally feel like I've reached a point where I did what I could on my end. And at that point, it was out of my control. And I just have to like make peace with that. And I feel like I really, really have been. And I just feel like sometimes you reach a point where it just feels better to let go instead of trying to hold on to something when it's reached its expiration date. And I think that's something that we can all intuitively feel, right? And it really is as simple as like, does this thing feel good to me or not? Is it bringing me joy or is it draining me? And that can be a difficult thing to process. But I just think it's really, really, really important to be honest with ourselves and to honor what we feel and honor our needs, to not gaslight ourselves out of like attachment to something, and to just try to see things really clearly, which of course is hard when you have emotions tied into things. But I think getting somebody else's input that loves you and cares about you and can maybe see the situation a little bit more clearly. And I know I've even been resistant to that at times too. But I think that it can be helpful, and just knowing that these people have your best interest in mind. And I think just like really tuning into your intuition and just, like I said, just paying attention to how you feel. And just trying to accept things. I think that Willow was really onto something when she said acceptance is the key. Acceptance gives me wings, because I feel like that has just been such a major learning lesson for me, just accepting things and just letting things go. I've definitely been somebody who, yeah, it takes me time. I'm really, really, like historically, I've not been great at just like cutting things off cold turkey and just like moving forward. I feel like I really have to do things at my own pace and sometimes take baby steps to get to that point. And I think that's okay. I think it's your own life, and you know, do what you can. Obviously, like, we are strong enough to be able to do anything we set our minds to, but I know that change can be excruciating and it can be really, really hard. So I think just like being really gentle to yourself, honoring your emotions, and just, you know, taking baby steps if that's what you need to do. I really, really, really have always admired the people in my life that can just like decisively decide something and then just go with it and just like thug it out. Like, that is like so crazy to me. I have like rarely been able to do that. There's been a couple of circumstances where it's like so obvious to me that it's just like, nope. But I think that it's just hard. And a lot of it comes from like self-trust and just also belief systems of just knowing that like no matter what, we are taken care of, we are guided, we are loved, we are supported, we are whole on our own. And like a lot of times too, situations that I felt very resistant to at the time, or changes or endings, were actually like such big blessings in disguise for me. And I didn't even realize that until sometimes much later. And it's just like I spent so much of my life just being miserable and feeling like the universe is against me and all these things are happening to me, and that, you know, I'm just like this victim. But I've actually been shown time and time again that things are always working out for my highest good. Things are always actually working out even better than I can imagine. Sometimes I and my ego want something so badly and it gets ripped out of my life and it's terrible at the time. But like, I later on realized that it was the best thing that could have ever possibly happened for me. And like, had I actually gotten what I wanted, I would be miserable and I wouldn't be living like the dream life that I want to live. And so I feel like those years of my life that I've spent just like, I don't know, feeling like a victim and feeling really negative about situations, to then realize like, oh shit, this was actually a good thing. It's just like a lot of my life that I've kind of like wasted in a way, or just spent feeling like really shitty when it wasn't necessary. And it's just created a lot of unnecessary suffering for myself. So I feel like because I've experienced those scenarios before, I just have developed this trust within myself and within my path and within the universe and just unseen forces around me, whatever you want to call it, that like I really, really, really am provided for and taken care of and loved, and that things are always happening for me, not to me. And it just serves as a reminder for myself now. It's like I've learned through those lessons to just try to embrace it, and just, even if I don't have like the full perspective, because our perspectives are very limited, right? Like I can't see the bigger picture of what's actually happening. I can't see into the future. Instead of just like carrying this resistance and this heaviness, just trying to like remember all of those past times when things did work out for me, and like maybe this time is also a blessing in disguise, because every other time it has been and things have worked out. So I feel like that's like really potent wisdom to be able to carry with me now. And I know it's easier said than done, but it just really is that I've been shown that time and time and time again. So I feel like now I'm at a point where I'm really just like so trusting. And then it's also like, there's nothing else I can do. Like things are outside of my hands. And the only thing that I really can control is myself and the way that I respond to things and the way that I react to things. So just trying to really, really focus my energy on tending to myself and healing, and just being really gentle to myself, and like processing my emotions, taking my time to process my emotions, to journal, to sit with my feelings so I can actually really, really, really heal and work through things. But I can't control anybody else's actions. I can't control what people decide to do. Like people have free will, and there's nothing that I or anybody else can do about that. So I guess just like really redirecting my focus on what I can control, and just really trying to accept situations for what they are. And I feel like this fear can come up when we're put in a season of change, because it's like we're really, really placed in the unknown. And I have really observed within myself like how badly my ego wants to fucking know all of the answers and just know exactly how things are going to turn out, what's going to happen, and just like grasping at this control. And I think that's also a normal part of our ego, but I think it's really, really important to be able to become aware of that and observe that within ourselves and not get wrapped up in it. And to also recognize that being in the unknown is like actually a really, really fun and special place to be, because we kind of get to just be surprised by the universe and blessed by the universe. And I feel like, you know, it is scary to not know, but it kind of also just means that there's like endless possibilities waiting for us, and we can be really, really intentional with what we're calling in. And I feel like when I'm in a place of being fully immersed in the unknown, I am so much more aware of my life. I'm so much more present with my life. I'm so much more in tune with like myself and the universe and just all the events and synchronicities happening around me, because I'm just like paying closer attention, because I don't know what's going on. So it's all like new and exciting. And I just think, as scary as it can be, it can also just be so exciting, and it can feel really good to be in a place that's new, because maybe those things that we're holding on to, like I said, they reach their expiration date. And of course it's like we have so much love for those eras of our life, but also it's like it probably wasn't feeling great if it was like, you know, coming to an end. or if things were needing to change, or maybe it was feeling great on your end, but it wasn't on the other side of the circumstance to the other person or situation or whatever it was. And I think that we just have to trust that what is meant for us won't miss us. And I've been shown that too. And I really, really, really deeply believe that. So I really think it's just a matter of like honoring the emotions and like grieving and letting yourself feel all the feelings, but just like trying to find a sense of peace and just trying to really tend to our nervous systems. And I really, really also think that just giving things time really, really always helps. I really think that it's like that ego part of us that wants to grasp at like the knowing. It just has this like sense of urgency. And I really think that if we can just allow things a little bit of time to just unfold naturally on their own, then things like always make more sense and they work themselves out, right? And it's like, I don't want to live my life with this feeling of like this sense of urgency. I really do think that things do need to take time, and like time never hurts. Time to process, time to allow things to settle, time to come to a better understanding. And I think that time also brings just more like clarity on situations, because we're able to not have like such heightened emotions around things. We're able to see things a little bit more clearly, maybe incorporate a little bit more logic into things. And I just think, yeah, that there's no harm in time and just letting things unfold, and that things will always work out. And I really, really think that sometimes all you can do is just literally breathe. One of my friends was going through something really rough recently, and she was having a really difficult time, and we were talking a lot. And I just kept telling her, like, the only thing that you need to do right now is literally just breathe and just like stay alive and just like get through this. And like through time, like things will work themselves out. You'll be okay. But sometimes it is so rough that you really just got to breathe. You really just like have to be, and that's it. And take, any other responsibilities off the table and just allow yourself to like survive. And I think that as time goes on, things make more sense. Inevitably, you're going to be moved to a new place. That's another thing too, is if you feel like you're like rushing yourself to get over something or get through something, like it's okay to let yourself still hang out there. You don't need to like get over things immediately. It's okay to still be thinking about something, you know what I mean? But I feel like inevitably life will move you to another place anyways. So like you're gonna be okay. I feel like just taking the pressure off of feeling like we need to be in this certain place or you need to get over this immediately, like it's okay. And like whether you like it or not, like I said, the world is in a constant state of change. So even though you're feeling so rough right now and you might feel like you're never gonna get over this, you're never gonna get through this, like you will, and you will be happy again, and things will, change, and you will have new jobs and meet new people and have new changes in your life, literally whether you like it or not. So I just think we have to do what we can to just be okay, process our feelings, and like I also said too, like sometimes it just feels better to let go than to hold on. And even though it's hard and scary, I feel like I've felt like a lot of my energy return back, because I was just exerting so much energy trying to make certain things in my life work that just like clearly weren't working anymore. So it feels good to have my energy return. It feels like I'm in a potent new space, which is endless possibilities, which is like really exciting. And it's really exciting to know that like I've been putting specific intentions out for a while now, and that they're heard by the universe, and just kind of like being in a place where I'm like just really excited to see how they're gonna unfold, and to just be able to be here to like witness it and just be present through all of it. It really, really is an exciting place to be. And I feel like, there's like that saying, your new life is going to cost you your old life, or your dream life is going to cost you your old life. So if it feels like a lot of things are like crumbling in your life right now, it's probably for a reason. I just feel like none of it is random. The fact that I'm going through multiple significant changes in my life right now is not random at all. And yeah, it's just a crazy experience being human, for sure. But I know that it is all stuff that we can get through. We just literally have to keep breathing and feeling. And I know those feelings can feel excruciating, but like they aren't going to kill you. So just trying to hold space for it all, and just trying to tend to yourself and your inner world, and just find stability and just really lean on the people in your life that love you. I have talked my friends' ears off about so many situations in my life lately, and it's helped me so much. And just leaning into journaling and returning back to the things that I love to do that feel so exciting and fun to me, and just really trying to just like find my happiness and like maintain a positive attitude, and just really think about all of the things that are happening in my life that I have to be grateful for. Because even though this change is scary, like there are so many fucking awesome things happening in my life right now, and I'm sure that there's the exact same for you, and maybe they don't come to mind right away, but just consciously setting aside some time to be able to like conjure up the feelings of gratitude and think about all the little things in your life that like have been going right, and all the little blessings that you've been receiving. And yeah, to just try to embrace it. Like nobody ever promised that life was going to be easy. And I think it's also okay to like go a little insane, and just like, because you have to feel your feelings fully is the other thing. Like you really do. So just, you know, let yourself be human. Yeah, let yourself be human. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful in any kind of a way. I feel like we're all going through such similar situations. Like we're never alone in this. We're all going through heartbreak and, you know, joy and breakthroughs and confusion, like at different times. And like a lot of our experiences, almost all of them, dare I say, are not unique. And so just don't feel like you're alone in this. Don't feel like you're the only human being that's having to go through things that like you don't want to have to go through. I think it's just part of this experience, and it teaches us so much more about ourselves, and just gives us so much strength and so much wisdom. And I feel like ultimately, like each change, we're being guided closer and closer to what feels in alignment at that time. And we're just constantly evolving as beings. So of course our circumstances are going to change as we change. And that's a really beautiful thing. And I think that we just have to try to surrender. Like I just imagine myself like laying in like the fucking ocean on my back doing a back float, and just like letting go, and just trusting that there's a higher power that knows a lot more than I do, and knows exactly what I want in my life, and is orchestrating behind the scenes to make that happen. And just remembering I have a very limited perspective right now, but just giving things time to unfold on their own, and to just know that I have been blessed so many other times in my life. Why would this time be different? But yeah, my heart is with you if you're going through something that feels really difficult right now. I really believe in us. I've made so much progress in just like the past couple of weeks. I'm in a much better place. Like I do really think things do get better, and yeah, we're all in this together. But I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in a video again soon. Okay, bye!